Washington, D.C. is a complete car wreck of violence. Trump is talking about federalize. Well, it's already federalized. It's a district, not a state, under federal government. But he's talking about bringing in National Guard or military to lock it down because the crime is so bad. Welcome to Doug In Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. We have a good time here. I so appreciate the compliments you guys gave me yesterday. I was having a lot of fun reading the chat. Now, some of you, a couple, 3 out of like 500 comments, people said they didn't appreciate me saying that Trump had big balls, that you guys don't want me using the term big balls again. And I try not to be crude or crass on the show. This is a family show. So I'm going to do my best not to talk like that anymore and use the phrase big balls so I don't offend you anymore. Here's Jeanine Pirro on how bad Washington, D.C. is getting.
Worked at the White House, was beaten to a pulp. He's got a broken nose. He's got a severe concussion. He's battered all over his head, okay, by a gang of punks, 10 of them, I believe.
This is about a member of DOGE, 18-year-old member of DOGE who got beat up by thugs. And Jeanine Pirro is talking about how bad the crime is. He was just walking to work for DOGE and clean up our government. And it was like 10 youths at about 15 years old, pummeled him within an inch of his life. And he was defending a girl, a woman that they were abusing. And what's his name? His name is Big, never mind.
Been arrested, 2 15-year-olds. None of them come to my office, Laura, because they're not considered criminals. They go to family court where the effort is rehabilitation. The D.C. Council, and the president is right.
That's the kid on the right there after he got beaten. And his name is Big, oh, I can't say it.
They've got to stop their coddling. Number one, we've got to lower the age of responsibility to 14. I'm tired of having these kids commit crimes in their crews, not gangs in D.C. We've got an intern, you said it in your open. He's an intern from college. He gets shot going out for McDonald's at 10:30 at night. This kid is trying to help his girlfriend or his friend to a car. He gets assaulted, and but for a cop going by, they would have, had they gotten him on the ground, they would have stopped him and finished him. He was able to stay standing. This has to end. The council has this Youth Incarceration Act where we had a guy who shot a kid on a bus, not justified, with an illegal gun. You know what the sentence was? Probation. The judge said go to college. Okay? He took an illegal gun. He should be jailed for the illegal gun. Forget about the shooting. You put that on top of the gun. Then what we've got are kids who are out there who are making fun of all of this, doing carjackings, and I can't touch them because they want to protect them.
They know that.
Why can't Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. attorney, touch them? We have a new government in Washington, and she doesn't have the authority to touch them. We're going to get into later where she doesn't have the authority to get free water for her employees. Jeanine Pirro is the right person. She has to be empowered to do her job to get these thugs that beat that kid. Trump, look at the Chiron. Trump is threatening to bring in the National Guard this week.
And that's why they travel in gangs. And the older kids send out the younger kids to do the real dirty work because they know they're fine.
They absolutely understand. And youth violence is on the rise, not just in D.C., but across the country. And if you think that these kids need to be coddled and they need to be hugged, they need to have consequences. They need to understand that enough is enough, that we're going to put them in jail or some kind of youth rehabilitation detention facility and not allow the D.C. Council, one of whom I just recently indicted, to take cover for these kids.
We're indicting the council.
It's time to end it. That's what the president wants. That's what we're going to do.
Look at what
okay. Well,
worked in New York City when Giuliani was mayor. He went after.
That's about Giuliani's cleanup. That's what we have to do with D.C. It takes someone with big, I don't know, fortitude. Here's Nick Sorder. I don't even know if I can read this tweet. Breaking: President Trump just announced he will personally be calling big balls shortly, following him being attacked by youths in D.C. Big Balls is a hero and absolutely deserves this. Trump also floated sending in the National Guard to D.C. to quell the crime This needs to happen. Here he is yesterday live.
Are you considering taking over the D.C. police? Is that an option on the table?
We're considering it, yeah, because the crime is ridiculous. I could show you a chart comparing D.C. to other locations, and you're not going to want to see what it looks like. It was just up on television, actually, they were showing it. Now, we want to have a great, safe capital, and we're going to have it. And that includes cleanliness and it includes other things. We have a capital that's very unsafe. You know, we just almost lost a young man, beautiful, handsome guy that got the hell knocked out of him the night before last. And I'm going to call him now. We wanted to give him a little recovery time. We just put a call into him. They're calling back in a little while, but he went through a bad situation, to put it mildly, and there's too much of it. We're gonna do something about it. So whether you call it federalize or what, and that also includes the graffiti that you see, the papers all over the place, the roads that are in bad shape, the medians that are falling down, the median in between roads that's falling down. We're going to beautify the city. We're going to make it beautiful. And what a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
Yeah, maybe very quickly. Bring it in. But you know what he does? He's doing this out of love. You can tell he's really hurt that kid got hit. Here's Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is the one who hired the kid, who is a certified genius, by the way, a massive genius. A few days ago, a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in D.C. A DOGE team member, we now know is Big Balls, saw what was happening, ran to defend her, and was severely beaten to the point of concussion, but he saved her. It is time to federalize D.C. You're seeing Elon Musk come out and support more and more Trump policies. Here's Marco ends with a picture of Big Balls. My friend, Big Balls, is a hero. I took this photo after Edward is his name, protected a young woman from an attempted carjacking by 8 thugs near DuPont Circle. Violence like this in the heart of D.C. is completely unacceptable. There he is. We'll show you a healthy picture of him coming up too. But first, let's explain in his own words, back when he was on Jesse Waters, when DOGE was first raging, he explained where he got his name.
Big Balls.
It's big. That should be obvious.
Why do they call you Big Balls?
I just said it as my LinkedIn username.
Okay.
Well, people on LinkedIn take themselves like super seriously, and they're pretty adverse to risk. And I was like, well, I want to be neither of those things. So I said it, and honestly, I didn't even think anyone would notice.
It's someone, he used it as a username to not take himself seriously on LinkedIn. He didn't think anyone would notice. When he got hired on DOGE, the media went after him, trying to eviscerate him and get Elon Musk to suspend him, which Elon Musk actually did over that name for about 24 hours. He said, we're going to look into this guy that they hired. They said, why is he called Big Balls on LinkedIn? Now you see, it was out of humility. He didn't want to take himself too seriously. The media is the one that spread the name Big Balls everywhere and said, who's this kid? He thinks he's all tough. He thinks he's big balls. You have to explain yourself, Elon Musk. And it was always, and then it turned into a positive where all the internet started calling him Big Balls in a positive way. They flipped it.
Yeah. So what do you
LinkedIn
do?
is so cringe.
What does Big Balls do?
Right now, I'm working on some payment computer stuff. So one of our initiatives is to root out fraud and waste. And to do that, we started looking at the payment computers. And as mentioned earlier, like there is no accounting of what payments actually go to in the payment computer. So like you look at a specific line item, like $20 million. You're like, okay, well, what is this money going to? And for the majority of payment systems, it's like, well, we don't really know. And
Yeah, they're like, what? That would be the response.
Is this the most basic responses?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the most common response.
What do you say when people just say, I don't know?
Well, it's a huge cause for concern because, like, the upstream thing, which is distributing the money, literally has no checks and no accountability to the actual American taxpayer. So it's a huge vector for fraud, waste, and abuse.
Do these people not respect taxpayer money?
I mean, there's no incentive to if you work in the government. I think the incentives will always decide the outcomes.
Yes.
The incentives will always decide the outcomes. This is a certified genius, the kid that cracked much of the corruption in our government, the money being wasted, $20 million going to nowhere, and no one knows, had any accounting of it, discovered by Edward Big Balls. I just love this kid and the idea that he was fighting for his life. You don't know. I mean, I can't even imagine how terrifying it would be. You save a woman and then 10 thugs start beating you into the ground and a cop happened to come along or he'd have been dead. This is Ian Miles Chong. Edward Coristine is his name, Coristine. Coristine, also known as Big Balls, is the DOGE employee and hero who put his life on the line to help a woman in distress in Washington, D.C. Everyone should thank him because society would be a lot worse off if not for men like him. He doesn't just save a woman's life, guys. He's saving our government, our country, Trump's mission, Elon Musk's mission of DOGE to reform our country. This kid's a hero. Here's a message Trump had printed so he could see it from his hotel room. It says, "Heal fast, Big Balls." Am I allowed to say it yet, guys? Thanks, Trump. From Trump, he loves DOGE. Hell yeah, patriots in Washington, D.C. are showing their support for DOGE's Big Balls. After he was physically attacked by youths, the world, especially D.C., needs more heroes like Big Balls. Wait, there's more. Oddly, guess what the media's response was to Big Balls? Complete blackout. No one would cover it because it was 10 black youths beating the crud out of a kid in Washington, D.C. They did not want to cover it and give DOGE, because, you know, on the left, if you're a victim, you can do no wrong. So now Big Balls became a legitimate victim and the news did not report on it. Here's Scott Jennings calling them out.
I'm just going to tell you right now, the plight of American hero Big Balls has set off a firestorm in the Republican Party. This kid who worked for the DOGE guys, didn't shut down any diners that I know of, but he's out of the government now. He goes out on the street.
Just infiltrated all of our information.
He protects a woman from being attacked by a roving street gang, and he had the crap kicked out of him. And, you know, we had a congressional intern murdered not too long ago. I'm just telling you, Republicans right now have about had it with the violence and the idea that you can't even walk around D.C. right now without getting attacked by street gangs.
Don't we have laws on the books already?
Democrats' response, don't we have laws on the books already? They have no sympathy, no compassion. They either are violent or they cover up violence. Here's more on Jeanine Pirro. They're basically undermanned and understaffed within her department.
Judge, I've been hearing from my sources at the DOJ that there is a very, very big problem with staffing. Assistant attorney generals on down saying, we have great plans, we're doing great things, but we're down like 2/3 staff.
Yeah, I'm
What's
down
going on?
90 prosecutors.
Why is that happening?
60 investigators.
Why?
Because nobody cared. I'm telling you right now, nobody cared enough to make sure that office was running. I'm going to have that office running. If you want a job in the nation's capital, in the premier office, the largest U.S. attorney's office, contact me.
She's begging TV people for jobs to come in and get a job. They're so understaffed. I've heard this a lot about the government. You know, when Trump came in, they had tens of thousands of jobs to fill. How do you hire tens of thousands of people? This is like government does not work, guys. Here's Jeanine Pirro on they have to pay for their own water in her offices. This is ridiculous.
I need you to now, Judge, tell the difference between being a host on Fox and working in a government office. Having worked in government offices myself, tell me the experience. Explain.
First of all, I miss Fox. I love everybody. Government is hard. Government is all about accountability, responsibility. I work 12 hours at least every day. You're never not working. You have to pay for water. The government, they waste, let me tell you, they waste millions. I'm looking at contracts. I want to indict people for contracts that the U.S. government has given out voluntarily.
The worst waste of money. And then they get you on little things.
They don't care. And then they say to my prosecutors, the AUSAs, you got to join the water club for $7 a month.
You have to pay to get water. The government's wasting millions of dollars of our taxpayer money a month. I love Jeanine Pirro. How about you? Let me know in the chat below. And are you thankful that she's on the job? And do we not want justice for big balls? Trump should bring in the National Guard. He'd lock DC down and the crime would stop like that. Go to all the crime-ridden areas, throw the National Guard in there. The crime stops instantly. And with apologies, I think I said the word big balls about 50 times in this episode. I'm Doug in Exile.